Yeah, if you upgraded to a larger burner, you could. But I don't think those two smaller ones have enough BTUs to push out to take care of those. Though once the building's up to speed, up to heat, and you've got people in it, it stays toasty warm in there. So,
that report disagrees with that, though. Doesn't it say in that report that the units are too big?
They say they have excess capacity.
Yeah.
But the excess capacity is what allows us to heat it up rather quickly when we need it. In fact, I think whoever did this way back when probably knew what they were doing.
yeah, oil burners at 86% efficiency actually equals a propane, from everything that I've read, I'm not an expert, but from everything that I've read, is that an 86% efficient oil boiler equals about a 96% efficient propane boiler. And if you look at on the charts per BTU per dollar cost, propane is way more expensive than oil to heat with. But that changes on, if the oil prices go way up and propane stays low.
Well, propane's based on oil. So.
Yeah, propane is a byproduct of making oil, so.
But you already have a huge oil tank, or propane tank, so you wouldn't need another tank. Correct?
You might, depending on, because that huge propane tank that we put in there is a backup, which heats this building and runs our generator in cases of an emergency, and that's why we put in the bigger tank. If we were to heat both buildings with it year-round, then I believe we would need another tank in order to sustain the emergency generator and any emergency operations that are extended.
That's a 500 or 1,000?
It's 1,000.
1,000.
1,000. A lot of heat, 1,000.
It's a gallon an hour to run the generator.
It's 1,000 hours, assuming it's full.
Yeah. Plus heat this building, plus run the stove over there for the emergency, the kitchen that'll have to probably be enacted. I mean, a lot of things.
One other thing we learned yesterday, looking at the electrical system, the reason the heat back in the old town clerk's office doesn't work is the circuit breaker's turned off. But if you turn it on, it works just fine. So there is in fact heat back there. Again, if just keep it off, but if you need it, all you gotta do is switch it on, and it's well labeled, so that's not a problem. You had a second question, or?
No, it was just...
Okay, and Brad, you're all set. Okay.
Oh, are we going to move on this?
Yes.
Okay, so make a motion that we accept the bid of Kingswood Mechanical for the replacement of the oil tank.
No, I'll second it for discussion.
Okay, discussion.
On this, the Kingswood Mechanical, they're putting the oil tank up on cinder block.
Right.
Now, are the other ones putting in a concrete containment? Or are they doing the same? I didn't.
Everybody's the
same. Yes, one of them was, I know.
A containment?
No,
On cinder blocks or containment?
well, it's gonna sit on a cinder block.
Okay. A containment
Keep it
means
up
to
out
catch
of the
the
dirt.
oil if it were to leak.
No, I didn't say that.
Okay. This one doesn't have any details, so. I know we had discussed having a...
Yeah, this one just says on solid concrete blocks. Customer to dig around existing tank
It's already done.
for more clearance and block placement for correct fill and vent angle. Okay. So neither one of them are pouring a concrete foundation containment for it. We're just gonna jack it up off the ground a little bit.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of accepting the bid as proposed?
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
Is there, somebody has information as to the exact height that needs to be?
You should.
The height is dictated by the service pipe. If you raise up that tank anymore, the oil's going to flow the other way. It has to be dug out so that there's enough pitch to get the oil down into the tank Because if you raise it up anymore, it's gonna be too high and.
To get it in, okay, I'm
To get it
sorry, I
in.
was thinking of, okay, it's pumped up
Do you
Into
have
the
Right
comments
building.
now,
on
gravity will
service?
take it in.
into the building?
Not on this?
The
Yeah.
gravity's gonna take it to the tank, and to the inside, to the oil
No,
burner?
just the 275.
No, I know that, but from the 275 to the oil burner, there's a pump that sucks it up to there? Because that's
Yes.
above it.
On the furnace.
Yes.
Furnace.
It's on the
In the
furnace.
furnace, yeah, okay.
Has to be, even now in the way it's positioned, because the tank is lower than the furnaces.
Okay.
On the speaker. The current tank is on its side.
Yes, and the one going in is gonna be the same way.
Okay, is there going to be space between the tank and the cinder block?
There's gonna be
Normally, they
space
don't put the
between,
brackets on for the feet.
there's gonna be space between the earth and the tank. The present tank, part of it's in the ground.
You're not going to just put the cinder blocks on the dirt and put the tank.
No.
Oh, I see.
We've
What
already
you're talking
had,
about.
we've already had the dirt dug out so that you can put the cinder blocks in, put the tank in.
Now, that's a good question that doesn't
There'll be a little
specifically
short note.
stated here.
As long as there's space, then you don't
That's right.
have to
Yeah.
worry about tank deterioration.
Right.
Right.
Well, you do, because it's moist under there, so
Yeah.
eventually.
Okay, no, that's a very good question, that is not stated, it says on cinder block. And my thought was on feet on cinder block. And-
Yeah, there'll
there
be
are-
short little feet.
Right,
Yeah,
but I will make sure that that's clarified, that that's what's expected. Yep,
good.
thank you.
Makes it easier to find the leak.
Anything else for the Heritage Commission?
No, sir.
So once you
Okay.
started?
Well, it gets better. Turn it over to the chairman of the Joint Loss Management Committee? No, okay. I made up, you already have a copy, but here's another copy for you, and that's a copy of that, I'd made copies for you, so.
Thank you.
This is the Joint Loss Management Committee policy regarding handling inquiries, accident reporting, inspections, education, training, statement of safety policy, seatbelt policy, discipline policy, Joint Loss Management Committee guidelines, Town of Brookfield blood pathogens policy, hazardous and toxic substance policy, personal protective equipment policy, Town of Brookfield noise exposure policy, and Town of Brookfield respiratory protection policy. This is all material that has been run through emergency management. Jessica's looked at it to check my spelling. And the other two selectmen have had this probably for the last month. It does not require it to be taken to the town. All it requires for implementation is a vote of the selectmen.
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't read it.
And you get some employees. And I'm very brutally honest. Did you read it?
That's why I'm asking, you want to, I made some extra copies. Not many, because it's a lot of pages, but here's some extra copies if somebody wants to read them. And I printed them both sides. This is double-sided and it's still about 30 pages. But the Joint Loss Management Committee has been a very active committee, right?
Busy.
So I gather then that the selectmen would prefer to table this for a future meeting where we would vote on it?
Here, here.
Next meeting, so,
Okay.
homework.
So the first meeting in January, I gave you a copy.
This one. Got it.
It'll be our next
Got it.
official
Got it.
selectmen's meeting.
Okay, just trying to keep all this stuff straight. It isn't easy. Do you have anything else for the Joint Loss Management quarterly meeting? Because we did a lot of work, you can tell, but we're not gonna vote on it until our next meeting, which I will discuss right now because the subject is up. We're scheduled to meet on the 27th, which is a Tuesday, 2 days after Christmas. A lot of people will be traveling and visiting. And I would like to propose that we hold a regular selectmen's meeting on the 28th, Wednesday.
A regular selectmen's meeting?
Yes, only because if we need to vote on something like this, we can do it. Or we can make it a working session, your choice.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna do a working session and then do all this the first meeting in January.
Okay?
Doesn't matter, I mean, we're gonna be here, right?
We're gonna be here, we're gonna be here. It brings up another
She can't be here, treasurer can't be here.
on the,
28th,
Because a lot of people are still traveling
no,
and
because I
visiting.
have a prior commitment.
well, then we can make it a working session on the 28th. But I was thinking in terms of last minute bills, end of the year.
Yes, I
Clean
will
up the
need to
books.
leave you, so.
As long as you leave us the stuff we need, we will be fine.
I'm not traveling, so if that's an issue, I don't know you're traveling?
I'm traveling.
Okay.
I get back the 27th maybe. It depends on the airlines. And Clifton also indicated that Wednesday worked better for him.
Okay.
So we will plan on a working session on the 28th of December, which brings us to our first meeting in January.
Could we leave it as a work session with the, somehow with the ability to have conduct any other business that might be necessary?
Sure. What you do is you don't, in this meeting, you
Adjourn it,
don't adjourn it. You continue it
or continue it.
on that date.
This meeting tonight? And that way, if we have to make a
Then we can
decision,
actually we could actually do the vote on
and we
this.
may have something that needs to be addressed, and we
Well,
will
that
have
was
the
my
flexibility.
concern, and that's why I was mentioning a regular meeting, so Clifton, since you've got that down, why don't you make that motion, if you would consider it?
But you don't need to, you just hold a regular meeting. Treasurer doesn't need to be there.
No, I understand that, but for the minutes, we probably ought to have something for the
To
record.
continue the meeting?
What?
We're not going to adjourn the meeting. At the
not
end,
adjourning.
No,
Okay.
listen. Instead of meeting on Tuesday like you normally do, we're just gonna meet Wednesday and you post it. You
Right.
don't have to, we can still adjourn this one, we don't need to continue it, we just decide here and now that Wednesday, the 28th,
Which
we're
is-
going to hold a regular selectmen's meeting / work session to follow.
well,
And you posted it such at the four corners?
well, I would suggest that, so that the people would understand that it's going to be primarily a work session. The only business will be essential business.
So when you post it, you put selectmen's meeting from 6:30 to 7. That gives you a half hour to complete any business, or you give yourself an hour. And then you go from that point on as a work session.
We will plan on that.
Excellent idea.
You just put it when you post it.
But it brings me to our next problem, in that our next meeting after that is December 10th. And I sent out, or January 10th, and I sent out this big, long email to everybody saying, we'll plan on doing something on the 10th. Guess what? That's election day. So we should plan on having a,
Meeting on the 11th
on the 11th. Right.
instead.
Okay, and so that's what I'm planning.
Wow, it's great to be flexible.
Anything else for Joint Loss Management Committee?
Nope.
That way you can pat yourself on the back.
You utilize the building next door, keep the meeting on the 10th, come in here, check one box off, and we'll
Can't.
do this.
We have to be here
I am,
for the elections.
I am planning on the agenda for the 11th of January to include our administrative meeting. It's a good opportunity to have another briefing on our website and our email forwarding system, which should be in place by then.
Excuse me. Okay.
Parks and Rec,
Nothing.
Planning Board.
I'll give the brief. We're reviewing the conditional use application. We're trying to determine if the board can place limits on conditional uses. We're also trying to coordinate the gravel pit inspections for the town. We received the updated maps of the National Flood Insurance Program. And finally, we voted to accept Rob Collins' working document. It's a proposed revision to the zoning document to clarify the definition of cottage industry and home occupations.
Those are issues that are being worked.
This is some more floodplain stuff